Hello, everyone. Welcome to Unboxed God, where we detox from religion and discover the God who refuses to fit inside the boxes we were given. I'm Tolu Sarah Johnson, and here we explore who God really is beyond fear, beyond formulas, and beyond everything we were taught to perform. If you're hungry for a real relationship with Him, you are in the right place. Let's dive in. I'm so excited about this book. So, this is book three of the current series of moving from religion to relationship. And the book three title of the book is When God Interrupted the Christianity I Built. This is my experience, and I hope you get to a stage as well that you allow God into your life to reshape you into who you're supposed to be. So, chapter one is the crisis that exposes everything. When the faith that carried you suddenly collapses beneath you. Yes, that's my story. When the system fails you at your worst possible moment, I understand it because that was something, that was a journey I had to go through. There came a day in my life that the structure of Christianity, the one that I faithfully poured out into for years, suddenly cannot hold the weight of my real pain, of what I was experiencing. I've talked a little bit about my journey in book one, about how I met religion before I met God. And because I met religion before I met God, it shaped everything about my journey. Even though I came from God to this world, and we get to a stage that we are so numb by religion that it's like we've got an amnesia, dementia. We don't even remember where we came from. That must be sad for God to watch, but that is how the story of majority of us starts. We are born into a family. The family is into a religion. You are indoctrinated into that religion. And before you know it, you already gone too far to even know that you are stepping on a path that is not right, that something is wrong in this journey. And when some people get to that aha moment, a lot of people just say they are deconstructing because they don't know what else to do. They don't know the way. So for me, that day was May 14, 2023, the day I became a widow. The day the man I loved, my Benjamin, went to heaven. The day my world stopped breathing. Oh my God, I don't want to remember that day. It was so horrible. Words cannot express my disappointment, my grief, my pain. Because I have spent years walking with Jesus. Yes. Talking to him through my husband, Ben. And I've spent years toiling in religion as well. Fasting, praying, tithing, serving, worshiping, and religion made it to be as if when you are doing all of these things, nothing bad will happen to you. You will always be all right. You will always have provisions if you do it right. If you are actually submissive, you are obedient, you pray when you're supposed to pray, you fast when you're supposed to, you are righteous, you're self-righteous, you make sure you don't do the things of the people of this world will do, then you are secure, you're safe with God. That was my understanding. So I did it. I toiled. I did everything I was told that would protect my life and secure his promises in my life and in my family. But yet, tragedy struck, and my heart broke in places religion had never reached. And I was left looking at Jesus through tears, whispering, "Where were you? Did I not do everything right? You spoke to me through my husband all the time. Did I not do everything that you told me to do?" And I was thinking in that moment, surely Tolu, you must have messed up. You must have done something wrong for this to happen to you. And in that moment, when something sad happened to you, all you are thinking about is how you fail God and how you fail yourself. That was all was going on in my mind. How am I going to exit out of this tunnel? Because for me, it looks like a tunnel that I couldn't come out of. I am someone that I live life with the understanding that there's always a way out in everything. I don't ever believe there's a closed door. So I always have hope. I always encourage myself. That's been my life. I don't wait for people to encourage me. I've always been someone that just speaks to myself when I'm down, and then that wakes me up. I look at things. Sometimes I go back, look at testimonies in my life, what God has done, when He has rescued me from this, from that. And that just fills me with joy and reminds me, "Tolu, you'll be all right." So I've always been that person that just self-encourage myself. But when this happened, there was no self-encouragement I could give to myself, because I was looking in that moment, "Tolu, you're 40. You are just 40. And you promise your husband, because your husband asks you, promise me that you're not going to remarry." And I was thinking, how will a young widow like me survive whatever years that is left for me on this earth without my best friend being with me? How? And the person that Jesus spoke to, it just pulled him out of my feet. Suddenly, it's like you pull the rug out and you see yourself just landing on the floor. Or let's just imagine standing on a chair and the chair will just pull off you unaware. What happens? You fall. And in that moment, all I can think of is, "God, you just want my enemies to just make fun of me. That didn't we tell him? Look at what happened now." That was what was going on in my mind. The letdown, the disappointment, that I prayed. I did everything when Ben was somewhere. Absolutely. Like give, this, that. Different pastors were telling me different things. And I was just investing into it. And I was so sure. But in that moment, Christianity stopped working. In that moment, all the spiritual routines I built, the discipline, the sacrifices, the holiness could not hold me. I was spiritually exhausted. Because before Ben passed on, he was unwell and he couldn't do a lot of things anymore. So I have to take care of him, work, take care of my children. Then we had visitors around as well. So I was physically, emotionally, in every form, exhausted and confused by a God I thought I understood. And I was angry at a God I desperately loved, but faithfully yet lost. I realized something terrifying. I had built my Christianity on performance, not on intimacy. Yes, because if I had built my Christianity on intimacy, I would have probably approached it in a different way. Or maybe I would have been able to get some comfort from God in those moments when I was languishing, lamenting, and I didn't know who else to sit with, to tell them, "Please help me, help me, help me, help me. I am dying here." I believe fasting guaranteed breakthrough. Like I told you earlier, I believe obedience guaranteed blessing. I believe sacrifice guaranteed protection. I believe faithfulness guarantees favor. Yet there I was, faithful but shattered. Oh my God. That has changed a lot of things about my life. That has changed the way I look at my journey now, here on earth, or even when I'm in heaven. Because we are not here for ourselves. We are here for a purpose. And that purpose needs to be way ahead of ourselves, of our happiness, of our joy. But religion never even reminds you that there's a purpose for you. And living that your purpose is the most important thing that you should cherish, whether you're on earth or you are in heaven. Understanding, why am I here? Why am I created by God? What is my purpose? How do I make sure that I'm adding value to his kingdom? In that moment, all I was thinking of was my life was shattered. But didn't you promise long life in the Bible? Didn't you promise that? Didn't you say when we pray you're going to heal us? Oh, wow. And later on, when I was speaking to Papa, when I became close to him, Papa said, Tolu, but I did say that before the day of evil, I take the ones I love as well. I might not have phrased it well, but you know what I mean. So God clearly put it in the Bible. The Bible said Enoch was so close, walked with God that he was no more. Enoch disappeared. Jesus only lived 33 years and he was back in heaven. So where does this idea of promised long life, or your promised sound health, or your promised abundance of wealth, where does this lie all stem from? They are all good. There is nothing wrong with having wealth. There's nothing wrong in being sound health. But at the same time, we are also successful. Oh my God. I can't believe I can't pronounce this word. Oh my God. We are all prone. Let me just change. We are all prone to things that happen in this world. The fact that you are a Christian, the fact that you know God, the fact that you pray does not exempt you from the pains, the challenges of this world. And because we've been lied to, you think that when your beloved that's been called home, that's gone home, that is now at peace, that is now happy, and then you see it as the end of your life? No, it should not. We all have our individual destiny. And there's going to be a day that there will be that reckoning that one person will have to leave first. And that day, I don't know. And our faith needs to be based on intimacy. Because when it's based on performance, you are essentially clueless. You are only going through the religion hamster wheel, and you don't even know the God that you are serving. So, my own great exposure came when grief came. And the truth stepped out of hiding. Yes, that is when my own great exposure came. That's when my own experience started. It is in that grief that the truth stepped out of hiding. I didn't feel safe with God. I didn't feel known by God. I didn't feel seen in my pain. I didn't feel held in my heartbreak. And I was wailing. I would lie down on the floor in the house and I would just be crying. And I was just yearning to just hear from God. My relationship with God has been sincere, but it has been built on fear, duty, and keeping up appearances. You need to ask yourself as well, if calamity shows up today, if there's a change in what you think God had planned for you or what you have planned for yourself, will you be able to stand in the intimacy, in the relationship that you have with Him? What I mistook for spiritual maturity was actually spiritual body. And religion has taught me how to survive Christianity, but not how to be held by God. Why will you come from God and then disassociate yourself from Him? Why will you think that your life will be filled with joy, with fullness, without not connecting to your source? Why do you think that when you disconnect from your source here on earth and you're wandering around like the prodigal son that's languishing, wasting the resources that has been given to you, squandering his time, squandering his money, squandering the joy, everything that God has given him, squandering it, wasting it away, not conscious of time, not knowing that for every man it is appointed to die. We are all going to die. One day we are all going to. And because this world is not our home, why do we come here and think that's the end of us? You come here, you try your best, you make every money, you focus on the material things, and you think it gives you joy, but it only gives you happiness for some while. Then you're back to where you were a few days ago. It's just going through the same cycle of sadness, joy, sadness, joy, sadness, joy. It's because you disconnected from your source. Yes, Papa is depressed, is sad. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel depressed. But do you know who you are? Do you know God? Religion had taught me how to survive Christianity, but not how to be held by God. I'm repeating that for you. The crisis didn't destroy my faith. Yes, it revealed what my faith was built on. Yes, when the real crisis comes, that's when you wake up and you see that there was no foundation you were standing on. And it reveals that your faith has just been built on nothing. Well, you know the way the Bible says about the people that build their house on sand, the foundation was built by sand and the one that was built by rock. And then when challenges of life come, they're easily swept away. That is where a lot of us are. Our foundation is built on sand. Religion is sand. Religion has nothing to offer you. And I am grateful to God that I stepped into the rubble. I discovered something profound. God did not cause my pain, but He refused to let the pain go to waste. Yes, what happened to my husband? Yes, God wanted him home, but at the same time, God did not want me to be in pain. God did not allow that to happen, to ruin me. But He's going to use that pain anyway to shape my life, to shape my destiny, to propel me into His calling for my life. The pain that's broken you, the pain that has come uninvited into your life, are you going to turn it around for God's good? Are you going to allow it for God to use it to propel you into where He wants you to be? Loss for me broke the performance. Grief exposed the illusion. And silence confronted the fear. And of course, devastation pushed me into honesty. I had to be sincere with myself This was the moment heaven whispered, when you build, cannot take you any further. When what you've built cannot take you further, let me build the rest. Yes, Papa said, let me build the rest. And the interruption was a rescue mission for me. God was not tearing down me. He was tearing down what was suffocating me. 2.5 years down the line now, I look back and I am so grateful that my husband went home to be with the Lord. I am so grateful that God allowed that to happen in my life, because it woke me up and it made me to know that I was dead in religion. I was squandering my destiny. I was lost. I was out of the lane. And that pain becomes my doorway. You know, just this morning, I watched a YouTube clip which was done by a guy who said the churches are now being empty. The mega churches like Joel Austin, they are struggling to fill in their congregations. I don't know, maybe he said they built maybe 16,000 auditorium and now they barely fill 8,000 seats because people are being woken up. People are realizing that this religion does not lead me nowhere. This is just like an entertainment for my soul. It doesn't connect me to God. People are thinking there must be more than this ringimaru of going to church every Sunday, going to fellowship. Then you hear someone that speaks that just entertain you for 1 hour, for 45 minutes. You spend money in their coffee shop to buy more. You pay your tithe, you pay everything. It's like they're just making money out of you. You have become the commodity. And you think that's going to get you closer. So that video YouTube clip was saying that people now know that being near to church does not mean you are near to God. So people are waking up. Each person is experiencing whatever challenge they are experiencing that opens up their eyes and let them know that there must be more to this. This cannot be what God sent me to this world for. And let that pain, let it become a doorway for you. Because I've always thought God will interrupt my life, maybe with miracles, maybe with encounters. In those moments, in that phase when Bear was here, I was expecting God for answers prayer, for spiritual promotion, for blessing in a different way. And then God throwed me an hammer. And I'm like, you want to crush me, God? That was not what I was expecting. I was expecting you to lay the red carpet for me, to walk into my prosperity, to walk into the blessing that Jesus has been telling me all this while. But what did you do? You just ripped everything up. You ripped my plan up. And instead, he interrupted me with heartbreak. But that heartbreak became the most honest prayer of my life. Jesus, help me. You don't know. I don't know you like I thought I did. You don't know him like you thought you did. And heaven called that humility truth. Yes, heaven calls that humility, that prayer. It calls it truth. And that's the open door. That's the crack you need to break out of the prison that you've locked yourself. that you've allowed religion to lock you, that you've allowed life, situation of things to lock you, because this is where real Christianity begins. At the end of the fake one, yes, you need to walk out of the fake one. And you need to know that you can never, ever, ever, ever experience God until you break out of the cage that is blocking you from seeing Him, from hearing Him, from enjoying Him, from having this deep relationship that is so rich in love, in His mercy, in His goodness, is rich in His pain as well. But everything you carry together. Life comes with both. We've got the package. You cannot just have the joy. Christianity just says you just have to continue to have the joy, the joy, the joy. And when you are having the joy, that means you are in God. Whereas that's a lie, because they know that's what people want to hear. So they sell it, they package it for them. Life comes with a mixture of both, and you have to be ready, because you're a Christian does not mean that you're not going to be sick. The fact that you're a Christian does not mean that you will not die young. If God wants to call you home young, then He calls you. He's the one in charge. He's the one that tells you when you come and when you leave. And whether you like it or not, whether you surrender to His will, is still the one in charge indirectly. Although Papa will say, I'm not in charge, Todo. Free will is in charge. But I guess the day you come and the day you go, He has told me He's definitely the one in charge of that. So, crisis does not expose God's failure. It exposes religion's failure. God did not destroy my faith. It destroyed my illusions. All the lies that have built up in my heart, He destroyed it. He grabbed it away from my hand. They pulled it off from me. That's what heaven did. Forcefully. And grief did not destroy my faith. It destroyed my illusions. I'm repeating so that you can hear. That whatever has come into your life has not destroyed your faith. It has destroyed your illusions. Sorrow did not push God away. He pulled the real God close to me. A lot of people, when things happen to them, they push God away. For me, I ran to Him because I knew I could not survive without Him. And my life was shattered. But the Father used the ashes as the first brick of intimacy. Because sometimes the most loving thing God can do is interrupt the Christianity you built to reveal the God you never truly knew. Welcome to the dismantling. Welcome to the beginning of truth. And welcome to the moment God steps in for you. See you in chapter 2. God bless.